Hey, what's up everyone? This is Snackbox. Welcome back to the channel. Guys, in this video, I want to talk about the recent update to the oil mixer. Yes, Raid just released a new Ascension update. And yeah, somehow they managed to make disappointment cost even more silver. Because apparently the problem with Gear Ascension was not the soul-crushing RNG. It was that we weren't broke enough yet. So if you missed the update, you can now combine 20 superior oils or extracts into one dust or powder. Finally, we can craft depression manually. Oh, and it costs 100,000 silver. And this is where this update completely misses the point. The problem was never getting the dust. The problem is this. This is one of the examples that will cost you 100 plus dust to get a stat that is okay to have on this piece, but not what you want ideally. So you keep re-rolling this piece because you want to maximize your build. You want to min-max your stats. So what happens is you go from flat HP to flat defense to flat attack to accuracy to resistance back to flat defense. But what you really want here is HP percentage. So you spend weeks farming Sand Devil or Shogun, then you need silver, then you convert it into dust, and then Raid rewards you with a flat HP Ascension. Up to a point where you might consider not investing more dust into this piece because it might never happen. Let's actually think about this. So 20 oils for one dust, okay? For one dust. And that means 100,000 silver. One dust is not even one try to get your Ascension. All right, you need 3. Okay, that is the first try. Then it goes up to 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, 8, and then it stops at 9. Okay, and at this point, it already costs you 900,000 silver. And if you still don't hit your Ascension, it's only getting worse because it still has garbage RNG. So let's take this for example. This is a speed boot, a 6-star speed boot from the Mercurial set. Nothing crazy, the substats are not that great, but still a speed boot is a speed boot, and all I want on speed boots is a speed Ascension. But there are 6 other stats that I can roll here, so the chance that I get speed with the first try is relatively low. Let's actually see what happens, okay? The thing is, now we have HP percentage, which is not bad. It's definitely better than flat HP, flat attack, flat defense, any flat stat, right? And also, theoretically, better than attack percentage and defense percentage, because HP percentage is good for every champion, right? HP is always good for every champion. Doesn't matter if it's support, a nuker, an attack-based nuker, a defense-based nuker. The HP is always helping at least, all right? Now let's see what we can get here. And we're going to get flat attack. So this was basically a huge downgrade. We went from 20% more HP to whooping 80 more flat attack, okay? So the problem here is that you cannot decide if you want to keep the Ascension that you just re-rolled, okay? At least that's something that Plarium could do. Give us the option to save the last Ascension and not accept this piece of trash. So now let's actually use this feature. What do we need? Like, we need 4. We need another 3 dust. Okay, so let's do this. We need 3 dust, 300,000 silver, and 60 superior oil. So let's try one more time. Can we get speed? And we got HP percentage again, okay? So we went from HP percentage to flat attack back to HP percentage. All right, so basically I didn't move any further, no progression whatsoever. I just wasted my resources, basically. So this update is not fixing Ascensions. I don't know if they attempted to fix it with this feature, but it's just making the resource conversion easier. And those are not the same thing, okay? An actual fix, like I already said, would be if we could save the previous Ascension, all right? So at least we wouldn't re-roll to the same one, okay? And we also wouldn't downgrade our artifacts or accessories. They could introduce something like a mercy system. After this amount of dust, this stat is guaranteed. Or make a fixed cost of dust, like 50 or even 100 dust, and you can choose which stat you want. But I guess the reroll protection would be the most fair one. But what we actually got here is just more silver cost. To be fair, this does help a small group of people and game players that have, an incredible amount of superior oils and don't know what to do with it, so at least they can convert it. But even for them, 100,000 for one dust is an insane amount of silver, and everybody needs silver because you have to use it. You have to have it for everything, for summoning, for champ training, for upgrading, for everything. Everything in this game costs silver. The only situation where this would make sense is if you have an insane amount of silver which you don't know how to use or where to use. But for most players, this is completely useless. This changes almost nothing. You still need insane amounts of farming. You still need insane silver. And you still pray to RNGesus for every single roll, right? Honestly, Ascensions are one of the most frustrating systems in Raid, at least to me. You have to farm dungeons or other areas of the game to get good gear. You have to roll the substats. You gotta glyph them, right? You have to rework eventually. And then at the end, you want to ascend them. But that seems like a bottomless pit. And you can waste, an infinite amount of resources there. So if Raid actually wants the Ascensions to feel good for everybody, we need targeted Ascensions, we need a pity system, reroll mechanics, literally anything that respects the player investment and makes it somehow justified. Because right now it is really the worst upgrading system that we have in the game. Anyway, let me know your worst Ascension rolls. How many tries did you have to go through until you got the Ascension? Or do you have a piece that you are still working on and you still didn't get the Ascension that you wish for? I already know some of you are in therapy because of all the flat stats that you re-roll back to back. And yeah, I've been there too, and it is just super frustrating. I already showed it in one of my other videos, one of my worst pieces that I had to re-roll, and I have some in the 10s, some in the 20s. I think this is my worst one with 22, but I definitely saw some with 40 and also a lot of artifacts with 30 tries from other players. But this is my worst one. And 22 is already a lot of dust. So yeah, guys, that's been pretty much it for this video. I hope Raid is gonna look more into this and, really try to fix it, because this is not really a solution. This is just another way for us to waste our resources. I'm definitely not going to use this as I don't think that it's worth it for me personally, and I don't think for the majority of players. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please smash that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you like this video, YouTube's going to think that you like this one as well. Take care and see you in the next one.